It's Inauguration Day in Kentucky. We take a look at how some Eastern Kentucky students are getting to participate in the historic event. And powerful testimony on Capitol Hill about alleged sexual misconduct at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy, why lawmakers are now probing what they call a culture of cover-ups.
Plus, high pressure will stick around through the first half of the weekend. Your forecast on the way as Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Governor Andy Beshear started his second term after a private overnight ceremony, and this afternoon he was publicly sworn in on the Capitol steps. Jessica Umbro was in Frankfort today as some Eastern Kentucky students helped kick off the governor's second term.
Governor Andy Beshear's second inaugural parade celebrated Kentuckians in key industries throughout the pandemic, such as nursing and teaching, and it also celebrated survivors of the Western Kentucky tornadoes and the Eastern Kentucky floods.
You know, a lot of these kids are still not in their high school. They're in a makeshift high school. It's flooded. I mean, it's amazing that we're here to celebrate just being here.
Hazard's 3 high schools put aside rivalries to march in the inauguration parade together, about 18 months after deadly floods hit Eastern Kentucky.
We compete like crazy against each other during the week, but in something like this, we all came together, and if you read the sign, it's one community and one recovery, and that's what we're doing.
Survivors of the Western Kentucky tornadoes were also featured, with residents of Dawson Springs looking back on how the community has worked together to rebuild these past 2 years.
Representing our community and bringing some little ones with us definitely shows our strength and resilience, and hopefully we're going to continue moving forward and rebuilding what we've lost.
We're going to rebuild it, and it's going to be 2 times better than it was before.
That's right.
After the day's festivities wrap up, the next order of business will be starting up the General Assembly's legislative session just after the new year. In Frankfort, Jessica Umbro, WKYT.
Jessica, thank you. We'll have much more about Governor Beshear's second inauguration, including some sights and sounds from the actual swearing-in ceremony and the speeches coming up tonight at 6. With Christmas just around the corner, folks are making those shopping lists and checking them twice. Local stores are encouraging shopping small this season, with businesses around the region offering unique finds and a small town atmosphere. For businesses in places like Pikeville, the seasonal support means everything, allowing business owners to make it into the new year with a little more security.
We all know that the money that you spend in your local stores is reinvested back into your community, which is so very important. But not only does it do that, it also creates job opportunities for people in your community.
Dotson says those jobs help the region far past the holiday season, so shopping now could mean keeping businesses open and tourism thriving. More than a year has passed since the July 2022 flood heavily damaged Heineman Elementary School, and teachers are still trying to help students move forward. Through donations and community help, 2 teachers were able to buy pajamas for students in 6th through 8th grade, equaling to 121 students. Heineman Elementary teacher Kristen Conley says God put it on her heart to do this after the flood.
Right after the flood, I was like, I just want to get everybody a pair of pajamas. Everyone deserves to feel comfortable and safe and relaxed at home, And I guess it just wasn't the right time, but it's always kind of been, in the back of my head.
Conley says they were able to collect the pajamas within a few days, and they are working to wrap them as presents before giving them out later this week. We'll have more on their mission and how the school is recovering from the flood tonight at 6.
We are tracking some really nice weather as we go into this afternoon, also into this evening. Here's a live look across the mountains right now from Buffalo Mountain to the London Corbin Airport, also near I-64 in Rowan County. You can see nothing but blue sky, also sunshine on this Tuesday. So some fantastic weather for the middle of December. Temperatures for most of us in the middle to lower 50s, up to 50 in Pikeville, 54 in Manchester, 50 also for Harlan, and 52 over in Irvin, also Moorhead. So again, temperatures are much warmer today compared to Monday. Friday, about 10 to 15 degrees warmer in some areas. And again, that near average weather will continue for much of the week ahead. Up on the radar, we are dry as high pressure also continues to dominate the forecast. And as a result, more dry weather is on the way as we go into your Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and those temperatures also topping out close to average in the upper 40s and lower 50s as we end the work week. Now we are tracking the potential for that next rainmaker by Sunday, also Monday of next week. Not set in stone just yet, but possibly a few showers to kick off next week, and then also some cooler conditions by this time next week as well. Those details plus your full 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. Some distressing testimony on Capitol Hill as 4 women described to a Senate subcommittee the sexual abuse and harassment they endured at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy. They allege a systemic failure of leadership to protect them, which the military branch acknowledged in an internal report. CBS's Natalie Brand has more from Capitol Hill.
This hearing is about a culture of cover-up.
One by one, 3 women who attended the U.S. Coast Guard Academy and 1 current cadet detailed sexual misconduct at the prestigious institution.
No to him was an invitation to try again.
Academy senior Kira Holmstrup testified about her assault and harassment that followed.
I've seen the reporting process continue to re-victimize those who courageously come forward.
Retired Lieutenant Melissa McCafferty says she was repeatedly raped and explained why she was afraid to report it.
They don't care. They just want to make the next rank, and I have seen it in the fleet, at the academy, at the senior-most levels.
The hearing follows media reporting of a years-long investigation called Operation Fouled Anchor into allegations of dozens of sexual assaults and decades of mishandled reporting. Lawmakers were furious they were not notified of the probe.
That report was concealed, hidden, and withheld from the United States Congress.
It is accountability, it's exposure, it's naming and shaming. It's pretty obvious what has to be done.
For Caitlin Morrow, who left after 1 semester, it's too late.
My main perpetrator is currently a lieutenant commander in the Coast Guard. He is thriving in a career that I had hoped for.
In a report issued this month, the Coast Guard said change is necessary, calling for policies to ensure accountability related to sexual assault and harassment and increased oversight and better accountability at the Academy. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Connecticut Senator Dick Blumenthal pointed to a 2022 survey in which more than half of female USCB cadets surveyed reported experiencing sexual harassment in the last year. Lawmakers have also requested an investigation by the Department of Homeland Security's Inspector General, which is still underway. WYMT's sister station in Atlanta, WANF, reports a man was arrested after holding 2 of its staff members hostage last night. WANF says a reporter and photojournalist were preparing to give a live report when a man approached them, indicated he had a gun, and threatened to shoot them if they called for help. Brandon R. Logan is charged with terroristic threats and false imprisonment, among other charges. Logan was arrested early this morning. Coming up on First at 4, could inflation be on a cooling trend? We take a look at the latest inflation report and how prices could impact you.
Plus more cool, also calm weather on the way as we go into tonight. Your first alert forecast after this break.